Methods of evaluation of extension programs. Monitoring and evaluation. The word monitor is derived from Latin word meaning to warn. In simpler words, monitoring means to keep a watch on what is happening at operational level of any program. It involves collection and analysis of information. Monitoring helps ensure the implementation of extension programs in accordance with their design and takes into account the interests of various stakeholders. The word evaluation is originally a Latin word, valor, meaning to be strong or valiant. Evaluation means assessing the worth of certain things, objects, persons, processes, achievements, and the like. A comparison is made with the standard to find out deviations. Evaluation provides necessary feedback information about performance of an extension program. Distinction between monitoring and evaluation. 1812. Concept of evaluation. Evaluation in a broad sense is concerned with the effectiveness of a program. UNDP in 2002 has defined evaluation as a selective exercise that attempts to systematically and objectively assess progress towards and the achievement of an outcome. World Bank in defined evaluation as systematic and objective assessment of an ongoing or completed project, program and policy, and its design, implementation and results. The aim is to determine the relevance and fulfillment of objectives, development efficiency, effectiveness, impact, and sustainability. An evaluation should give information that is credible and useful, enabling the incorporation of lessons learned into the decision-making process of both recipients and donors. In simple terms, evaluation is a systematic process to understand what a program does and how well the program does it. Evaluation results can be used to maintain or improve program quality and to ensure that future planning can be more evidence-based. Evaluation constitutes part of an ongoing cycle of program planning, implementation, and improvement. All kinds of evaluations including project evaluation, for relevance, performance and other criteria should be linked to outcomes as opposed to only implementation or immediate outputs. Evaluation involves right from input evaluation, process activities evaluation, output evaluation and outcome impact evaluation. Objectives of evaluation. The objectives of evaluation are presented below. To study the factors contributing to success or failure of extension program. To increase confidence in the program, both in the extension worker and the people. To compare the value of achievements of the program with costs. To facilitate the presentation of results for public support, thereby serves the purpose of public relations. To provide a means for testing methods, approaches and techniques used in programs. Need for evaluation. Evaluation is used to determine whether an extension program has achieved its goals and whether these goals could have been achieved more effectively in a different way. This is basically done to determine the changes in the behavior of the people as a result of extension program. 1813. It enables extension administrators, managers and agents to learn more effectively from their experience by systematic observation and analysis of the experience. The evaluation is not only of the physical achievements but also of the methods and techniques used and of the other steps in the program planning, so that the strong and weak points may be identified and necessary changes can be made. Criteria for effective evaluation. To effectively carry out the evaluation of an extension program, there are certain criteria. In absence of these criteria, it is not possible to carry out the evaluation effectively. Clearly defined objective. Objectives are the ends against which achievement is assessed. Unless this end is clearly defined, it is hopeless for one to evaluate a program. Valid instruments of measurements. An instrument is said to be valid when it measures what is intended to be measured. The methods and techniques used for evaluation must be valid. Example, if the objective is the adoption of artificial insemination, practice in cattle in a village, the criteria of measurement, or indicator of progress towards this objective is the adoption of this practice by cattle owners, and the instrument of measurement can be the number of cattle producers who use as against the total number of villagers who rear cattle in the village. Objectivity, it refers to free from personal bias and prejudice. External agency is therefore called in to evaluate the extension program for the purpose of objective evaluation. Reliability, it means consistency and predictability. It is required to use scientific methods in evaluation so that using the same method, different experts will arrive at the same conclusion on a consistent basis. Accurate evidence of change, an evaluation should bring to light any change that indicates achievement or non-achievement of the program. If, as a result of the program, change has been achieved, the evaluation should make it evident. Practicability, sometimes evaluator may need to compromise between very accurate and precise evaluation and evaluation that are not as accurate and precise, but which meets the specific need and can be executed within the limitations of the available resources. Types of evaluation. There are different types of evaluation based on the time of evaluation, agency of evaluation, and stages of evaluation. Based on the timing, evaluation is of two types, formative and summative evaluation. Formative evaluation is carried out during the implementation of an extension program to improve and smooth going of the program. It is ongoing and concurrent in nature. These are useful when directions are sought on how to achieve goals or improvement in program. Formative evaluations thus strengthen and improve the object being evaluated. They help form it by examining the delivery of the program, project, and technology. 1814. Summative evaluation is carried out after the completion is terminal or of ex post facto and extension program is in nature. They assess the impact it by explaining an outcome the consequences of an the object program. To lead the to program the outcome, or technology delivery. They further summarize the causal effect. Summative evaluation meant into determining assess the overall impact of the causal factor beyond only the immediate towards aids. Outcomes, and estimating the relative costs associated with the object. A comparison between formative and summative evaluation. Particular. Formative evaluation. Summative evaluation. Nature prospective. Gives specific description of scheduled events. Retrospective produces description of final outcome and general trends. Method analyze strength and weakness for rectification and improvement. Documents results and achievements. Structure somewhat informal, formal in terms of thoroughness. Goal to develop and strengthen programs. To document goodness of program implementation. Direction towards development. Towards results of development. Techniques. Reflection. Past achievements. Evidence of regular formative evaluation. Product feedback. Evidence. Formative evaluation includes the following: need assessment to determine who needs the program, how important the need is, and what would be the means to satisfy need. Evaluability assessment to determine feasibility of an evaluation and how stakeholders can help shape its usefulness. Structured conceptualization to help stakeholders define a program, target population, and the possible outcomes. Implementation evaluation to monitor the fidelity of the program, project and technology delivery. Process evaluation to measure effort and the direct outputs of programs, i.e. what and how much could be accomplished in terms of exposure, reach, knowledge, attitude, etc. To investigate 1814, the process of delivering the program or technology, including alternative delivery mechanisms. Summative evaluation includes the following: outcome evaluation to investigate into the demonstrable effects of the program or technology on specifically defined target outcomes. Impact evaluation to assess the overall intended or unintended net effects of the project, program or technology as a whole. Cost effectiveness and cost benefit analysis to address questions of efficiency by standardizing outcomes in terms of costs and values. Secondary analysis to re-examine the existing data for addressing new questions or use new methods previously not employed. Meta-analysis to integrate the outcome estimates from multiple studies to arrive at an overall or summary judgment on an evaluation question. Based on the agency involved, evaluation is of two types: internal and external evaluation. Internal evaluation is carried out by the extension organization itself. Internal evaluation is ongoing and concurrent in nature. External evaluation is carried out by an agency outside to the extension organization. External evaluation is independent, terminal, and ex post facto in nature. Based on the stage, evaluation is of three types: ongoing, terminal, and ex post facto evaluation. Ongoing or concurrent evaluation is conducted during the implementation stage of the program. Generally, it is done in case of long duration program. It is target oriented. Terminal evaluation is done at the end of the program. Ex post facto evaluation is conducted after a time lag after completion of the project. It is beneficiary oriented. Steps in evaluation. The following steps may be followed in the evaluation of an extension program. Formulation of objectives. Decide on the purpose of evaluation. What information is needed and why. The main goals and objectives should be set up at regular intervals depending on the type of evaluation to be made and the program. Further, overall objective is required to be made clear and specific that should be achievable and measurable. Example, if overall objective is raising the level of living, specific objectives may be increased crop yield, increased food supply, adoption of improved cropping and animal husbandry practices. Sampling. Sampling is the act of selecting a portion of the population as representative of the population. Decide on the sampling method and the sample which will furnish the required information. 1815. Example, sample may constitute the selected participants in a training program, selected farmers in a village who have adopted improved farming practices. Collection of information. Identify indicators or type of evidence that will indicate a movement towards the objective. Data and information collected for valuation may be quantitative or qualitative. Example, if the objective of a program is the adoption of integrated farming, the indicator or evidence of change may be the number of farmers adopted the integrated farming, e.g. duck fish. Pig horticulture integration. Analysis and interpretation of data. At this stage, data collected are arranged into a form suitable for analysis. This involves coding and tabulation, which helps in reducing the data to a form which may be compared for analysis. While quantitative data are more amenable to statistical analysis, qualitative information facilitates in-depth analysis in kind. After analysis, it is required to interpret the data for drawing appropriate conclusion. Look for significant changes in knowledge, skill, attitude, understanding and adoption behavior of the people, as well as changes in production practices, productivity, costs, return, etc. of the enterprises. Report writing and presentation. Prepare an appropriate report, highlighting the major findings. Avoid producing a bulky report. State clearly the implications and recommendations, and mention what specific action is to be taken at different levels and by whom. Methods of evaluation. Selection of the right method of evaluation or combination of methods is very important to assess the worth and value of a program once it has been designed and implemented. There are various qualitative and quantitative methods available for this purpose. These methods are briefly discussed here. 1. Qualitative methods. Qualitative evaluation methods rely on three basic data gathering techniques: participant observation, personal interviews, and documents or artifact analysis. Some important qualitative methods are given here. Unstructured interview. The unstructured interview technique was originally developed in the disciplines of anthropology and sociology as a method to elicit people's social realities. In such kinds of interviews, neither the question nor the answer categories are predetermined. Questions are invented during social interaction between the researcher and the informant. Unstructured interview is also known as informal conversational interview, in-depth interview, non-standardized interview, and ethnographic interview. 1817. Semi-structured interview. Semi-structured interviews are very commonly used qualitative methods of evaluation in which the evaluator conducts an interview with predetermined set of open-ended questions such that he/she remains with the opportunity to further explore a particular topic or response. Semi-structured interviews thus allow the researcher to probe deep into a particular topic. Focus group. It refers to groups of people who are involved in the process of a structured discussion to record their responses regarding a program, project, technology, product or any other kind of object. Generally 3 types of questions: introductory questions, engagement questions and exit. Questions are asked in an interactive group setting in which the participating group members are free to talk with the other members. Ethnography. It is a qualitative research method based on the diversity of culture. Ethnography involves hands-on, on-the-scene learning, direct observation of daily behavior, conversations, genealogical methods, in-depth interviews and longitudinal research. Ethnography is the primary method of social and cultural anthropology. Ethnographic studies relate to many fields of study and many kinds of personal experiences. Participant observation. It aims at gaining a close and intimate familiarity with a given group of individuals and their practices through an intensive involvement with people in their natural settings. The method is usually characterized as qualitative research, but it often includes quantitative dimensions. This kind of research strategy usually involves a range of methods, like informal interviews, direct observations, collective discussions, analysis of personal documents produced within the group, self-analysis and life histories. Analytic induction. It refers to the systematic examination of similarities between various social phenomena in order to develop concepts or ideas. In social research, the technique of analytic induction is widely used to search for similarities in social occurrences. Broad and subcategories are thereby developed for more explicitness in describing and comprehensive understanding. 2 quantitative methods. Statistical survey. Statistical surveys are widely and very popularly used quantitative method of evaluation. Such surveys can be carried out in 2 ways: structured interview and questionnaire survey. Each respondent in the survey is asked exactly the same questions so that the responses generated can be reliably aggregated. So, in structured interviews, the questions are essentially administered by the researcher, and the responses are also recorded by them. However, the questions can be self-administered by the respondents also, as in case of a questionnaire survey. Surveys are efficient in collecting information from a large number of respondents. They are flexible in nature and allow gathering a wide range of information. Semi-structured open-ended questions are also used in interviews. 1817. Content or textual analysis. The method of content analysis enables researchers to systematically identify properties of a large amount of textual information by detecting the more important structures of its communication content. The entire volume of textual information is first categorized according being undertaken to a certain theoretical framework before the effort of content scrutiny and analysis being undertaken. Statistical descriptive techniques. The most commonly used descriptive techniques in evaluation are graphical description, tabular description, parametric and non-parametric methods. Statistical inferential techniques. These involve drawing inferences for the entire population from a sample based upon testing hypotheses. Different one-tailed and two-tailed tests are used in testing hypotheses. 1911. 5 training programs for extension workers entry. Training is the most important method of capacity building. Training is a process of acquiring a specific skills to perform a job better in organization to the attainment of organization goals. Training and education can be distinguished in respect of objectives, and focused training usually refers to instruction in vocational context, whereas education refers to instruction received in school, college and university, and competency, whereas education exponents the knowledge and mental origin of learner. Training aims at giving the recipient the competencies required to do a job or carry out a function in the present. It is the process of transferring knowledge, skills, abilities and attitudes, KSAs, required to do a specific job or carry out a specific function from one person to another or to a group of persons. The International Labour Organization, ILO, defines training as activities which essentially aim at providing knowledge, skills and attitudes required for employment in a particular occupation, group of related occupation or for exercising a function in any field of economic activity. Types of training. Pre-service training. It is a process through which individuals are made ready to enter a certain kind of professional job, as in agriculture, medicine or engineering. The prerequisite to this is to attend regular classes in a formal institution and need to complete a definite curriculum and course successfully, and receive a formal degree or diploma. In-service training. In-service training is a process of staff development for the purpose of improving the performance of an incumbent holding a position with assigned job responsibilities. It promotes the professional growth of individuals. In-service training is a problem-centered, learner-oriented, and time-bound series of activities which provides the opportunity to develop a sense of purpose, broaden perception of the participants, and increase their capacity to gain knowledge and mastery of techniques. In-service training may broadly be categorized into 5 different types. 1. Induction or orientation training. Induction training is given immediately after employment to introduce the new entrant to the job. This helps in molding the individuals as per requirements of the organization. 2. Foundation training. This training is usually provided at an early stage of service life. Every staff member needs some professional knowledge about various rules, regulations, and procedures. 1912. of the organization, ability, coordination, financial transactions, and cooperation, administrative among capability, institutions, communication, under linkage skills, leadership, report writing, and so on. This training is made available to the employee stone mechanism, strengthen the foundation of their service career. 3. Maintenance or refresher training. This training is offered to update and maintain the specialized subject matter knowledge of the incumbents. This deals with new information and new methods, as well as review of older materials. This type training is given to the employees to keep them at their peak performance level and also to prevent them from getting into a rut. 4. On-the-job training. This is periodical or ad hoc training on the job, and is generally provided by the superior officer or specialists to the subordinate field staff. This training is problem or technology oriented and may include formal presentations, informal discussion, and opportunities to try out new skills and knowledge in the field. 5. Career or development training. This type of training is designed to upgrade the knowledge, skills and ability of employees to help them assume greater responsibility in higher positions. This training may lead to the acquisition of higher degree or diploma by the employees, and motivate them to move up in the higher levels of administrative hierarchy. Phases of training. Broadly, there are 3 phases of a training process. These are presented below. Pre-training phase. It encompasses several activities of which training needs identification and curriculum development are very important. The process of identifying training needs involves job analysis, task analysis, and knowledge and skill gap analysis. The curriculum development specifies what will be taught, the training content, and how it will be taught, the training methods. The training organization should develop the training program jointly with the organization from which the trainees shall come. Training phase. This is the process of putting a training program into operation. Information about training courses are made available to the intending persons well in time. All efforts should be made to enroll participants to full capacity of the training organization. Trainers, trainees, training materials and facilities need to be well managed and coordinated to run the program smoothly. Post-training. In post-training phase, evaluation is done. Evaluation is a process of determining the relevance, effectiveness, and impact of a training in relation to its objectives. The results of evaluation should be utilized by both the trainers and trainees organizations to improve subsequent training programs. 1912. Training for extension personnel. Training for extension personnel is a planned and systematic effort in increase knowledge, k, improve skills, s, inculcate appropriate attitude, I, and develop other attributes, o, in extension personnel to enable them to do the job efficiently and do better serve their clients. So, training is concerned with KSAOs. Component and subcomponents of KSAOs for extension personnel. Psi. No. Components. Subcomponents. 1. Knowledge, k, knowledge of extension methods, subject matter knowledge, knowledge of farm and farm families, knowledge of input supply, marketing, value addition, etc. 2. Skills, s, communication skills of extension personnel, demonstration skills, technological skills, training skills, diagnostic skills, w, attitudes, I, attitude for serving clients, attitude for problem solving, attitude for acquiring technical know-how and latest knowledge, attitude for self-development. 4. Attributes, OS, personality traits, experience, conduct, empathy, punctuality and discipline. Training methods. The commonly used methods for training of extension personnel are discussed in brief. Some of them may be used also for the training of farmers. 1. Lecture. It is a method of verbal presentation of a topic by a speaker to a group of audience. Lecture should be well organized and well prepared so that it can draw attention of the audience and convey the message to them. Visual aids may be used during the talk and a question-answer session may follow it. A series of lectures on a particular there shall facilitate the audience to develop a comprehensive idea on the topic and gain by the rich experience of the speakers. Lecture facilitates presentation of information in a systematic way. The chief limitation in lecture method is the passive role of the audience. 1913. Group discussion. The lecture method may be made more participative if at the end the audience are allowed to discuss the topic in presence of the speaker and elicit the latter's comments and clarification on the points raised. This shall lead to a better understanding of the topic, as the participants are more actively involved, have the opportunity to express their views and get their doubts clarified. Learning is reinforced through the interaction of the audience with the speaker. Seminar. It is one of the most important forms of group discussion and is more formal in nature. The seminar enables a study in depth to be made in specific areas under the guidance of experts. In seminar, the discussion papers prepared by the participants on the basis of their study and research are presented, and discussion is based primarily on these papers. A seminar may have one or more plenary sessions. This method has the advantage of pooling together the opinion of a large number of persons. At the end, some conclusions and recommendations are arrived at for taking action. Panel discussion. A panel or a group of 3 or 4 experts in a specific area of specialization may be invited to address a group of trainees on a particular subject. The mutual interactions of the panelists among themselves and with the audience can lead to an effective understanding of the topic. A panel discussion should be guided by a strong moderator to ensure enough time to each panelist to oversee the question-answer session and to sum up the entire proceedings. Colloquium. This is a modified version of panel discussion, in which 3 or 4 resource persons discuss a specific topic. The audience are free to express opinions, raise issues and ask questions. In colloquium there is more of audience participation. Symposium. It is a meeting in which a small number of resource persons present short prepared papers on a given topic. Each one speaks for a definite amount of time and presents a different phase or subdivision of a general topic. The speakers are of approximately equal ability to avoid domination by a speaker or giving the audience a distorted view of the subject. Interaction with the audience is NCT expected. Symposium is primarily meant for information gathering at the professional level. Workshop. A workshop is a cooperative gathering of individuals who discuss, learn and apply practical skills under expert supervision. It may be held for a day or a number of consecutive days. There is a planning session where all beginning. Considerable time should be allotted for the work sessions. In workshop method, the participants exchange ideas, experiences and skills, and on this basis produce a product or prepare a program for future action. It helps in correctly doing a job and proper shaping of an action-oriented program. Syndicate method. A syndicate is primarily a study group, the members of which represent the principal subgroups participating in the program. The syndicate has a chairperson and a secretary, the positions of which are generally held in rotation by the participants. A problem is assigned to the syndicate for study and solution. The group works on its own, with only minimum guidance from the training staff, makes its own library studies, collects data. 1914. Exchanges views and experience, avails itself of the facility of consulting specialists in the field, and finally prepares a report on the assignment. The report of each syndicate is presented to an assembly of the training faculty and all the syndicates in the training program as a whole for comments and discussion. The study on any subject may continue for a month or more, with 10 to 12 sittings. Case study. In this method, a written case or a problem situation is presented to the participants in a program for careful study and examination from all facets, so as to enable them to exercise their analytical, synthetical and decision-making powers. As there is no single infallible solution to a problem, different solutions will be evolved and, in course of evaluation of these solutions, participants are enabled to appreciate the viewpoints of others and also see the lacuna in their own thinking and analysis. The interrelatedness of various factors operating in the situation is also highlighted. Role-playing. The participants can be made to act and relive a particular situation to get a real feel of the roles they are actually called upon to play. Successful role-playing requires good empathy. Role-playing is a particular technique which gives an insight into the complex behavioral patterns of individuals. Even the observers tend to see in the roles played by others the images of their own behavior and attitude. Role-playing units should be small in size so that the trainees can really identify with the live roles they play. Special emphasis should be put on the discussion following the exercise. Brainstorming. A small group of knowledgeable persons is given a problem and asked to produce as many solutions as possible within a given period. Spontaneity and creativity are important. The purpose is to promote group creativity, so that all aspects of a problem are considered. It should be restricted to under 20 people per group. The ideas presented are recorded so that everyone can see them. When a large number of suggestions are made, the group is asked to reflect on them and evaluate their merits and demerits. A reasonably small number of worthwhile final solutions may emerge from this evaluation. Bus session. This technique involves dividing a large group into much smaller ones, in which a topic is discussed within a limited period of time. The groups are expected to react, i.e. produce ideas, opinion, questions etc. within about 5 minutes and make oral report to all groups involved in the exercise. The purpose is to involve each and every participant. This method is sometimes used to break up large meeting and to add variety and interest. It may also be used to solicit solutions to problems or to gather opinion. 13. Sensitivity training. Members are brought together in a free and open environment in which participants discuss themselves and interact. The discussion is lightly directed by a behavior expert, who creates the opportunity for participants to express their ideas, beliefs and attitudes. The objective of this method is to provide the participants with increased awareness of their own behavior and how others perceive them, greater sensitivity to the behavior of others and increased understanding of group processes. Specifically, it aims at increased ability to empathize. 1914. With others, improved listening skills, greater openness, increased tolerance for differences and improved conflict resolution skills. Management game. It is a training method that deals with certain specific aspects of business or administration. It is a simulated exercise representing, as closely as possible, the constraints and pressures of the day-to-day work environment of the participants. The participants are presented with information about operations of an organization, management of human resource, financial, marketing, etc. They are grouped in functional teams to consider the sequence of events and problems and manage the operations. The task includes finding solutions to the problems, taking decisions, and dealing with people. Each team takes a decision considering the data and information available to it, within the broad parameters and objectives of the game. The consequences of this decision are fed back to the team by the trainer. The team analyzes the outcomes of this decision in the light of their effect on the situation and other events in the operation. The team then proceeds to take further decisions addressing the new situation, events, and circumstances. Interactive video. It refers to a video program with which an individual can interact. It allows the user to take part in the sequencing and selection of video material, and control the program according to one's own pace of learning. According to Aram, 1993, the program progresses step by step through carefully structured sequences. Each step takes the user forward to another significant step. Incorrect responses result in the provision of further information to clarify doubts. Only a correct response allows the program to continue. Testing is done to ensure that the sequence has been understood. 16. Video conferencing. A telephone or radio network may be used to provide audio communication among groups at 2 or more locations. This is called audio teleconferencing. A video channeled to an audio link between groups by means of satellite transmission, microwave transmission or a two-way cable television system is video teleconferencing. Video teleconferencing is also known as video conferencing. Experts sitting in the studios listen to the questions and answer, live, on television. The system reduces the need for travel and is of much help to the groups in remote areas. 1915. 6. Role of Krishi Vigyan Kendras, KVK, in dissemination of agricultural technologies. Krishi Vigyan Kendra, KVK. Based on the recommendations of Education Commission, 1964-65, and Mohan Sinha Mehta Committee constituted by ICAR, the year 1974 witnessed a new type of experimentation in the history of Indian agriculture. The vocational training in agriculture was imparted to the farmers with the establishment of first Farm Science Center at Pondicherry, later on named as Krishi Vigyan Kendra. Concept of KVK. The basic concepts of KVK are: the center will impart learning through work experience and hence will be concerned with technical literacy. The center will impart training only to those extension agents who are already employed or practicing farmers and fishermen. There will be no uniform syllabus for a KVK. The programs of each center will be tailored according to felt needs, natural resources and the potentials for agricultural growth in that particular area. Principles of KVK program. The three fundamental principles of KVK programs are: agricultural production as the prime goal, work experience as the main method of imparting training, and priority to weaker sections of the society, are the backbone of the KVK program. Objectives of KVK. The main objective of the KVK is to provide a strong training support for bringing about production breakthrough in agriculture. The specific objectives are as follows: plan and conduct survey of the operational area to prepare the resource inventory and to identify the training needs of the farming community, plan and conduct production-oriented, need-based, short and long duration training courses, conducting first-line demonstrations on the latest farm technologies in the interest of the farmers, extension workers and the scientists, organize on-farm research for assessment and refinement of technologies and constraint analysis, provide training facilities in homemaking and nutrition education for rural community, etc. The objectives stated here are common for all the KVKs. In addition, each Krishi Vigyan Kendra has some mandates. 1917, Mandates of Reorganized KVK System. Mandate means a specific set of responsibilities to perform. The mandate of a quick is unique for it and is determined on the basis of the most important needs of the clientele, their resources and constraints, and nature of the ecosystem. The success of a KVK is judged by the extent to which it fulfills its obligations specified in the mandate. With effect from 1 April 1992, all first-line transfer of technology projects of the ICAR Viz. National Demonstrations, ND, Operational Research Project, ORP, and Lab to Land Program, LLP, have been integrated with the KVKs. In the reorganized system, the major mandates of the KVK are to conduct training programs, frontline demonstrations, and 3. On-farm testing. Training programs. The most important function of the KVKs is to conduct need-based training program in agriculture and allied vocation to impart first-hand knowledge and skills to the farmer, farm women, rural youth and extension functionaries. Frontline demonstrations. Frontline demonstration, FLD, is one type of field demonstration evolved by the Indian Council of Agricultural Research with the inception of technology mission on oilseeds crops during mid-80s. The field demonstration conducted under the close supervision of the scientists of the National Agricultural Research System Krishi Vigyan Kendra are called frontline demonstrations, because the technologies are demonstrated for the first time by the scientists themselves before being fed into the main extension system of the State Department of Agriculture. The objective is to demonstrate newly released crop production and protection technologies in the farmer's field under different climatic regions and farming situations. On-farm testing. These are conducted on the farmer's field on such problems where the appropriate technologies are not available for particular agroclimatic situation, and the main objectives are problem diagnosis, planning and experimentation. Gradual revision of KVK mandates. At a glance, as the KVKs continued to gain strength and spread, its mandates also changed with time. These are presented following Kokate, 2011. When the KVK was started in 1974, the important mandate was to impart vocational training in agriculture. 1918. During 1990s, focus shifted to on-farm testing and demonstration of technologies. During the 10th Plan, 2002 to 2007, the mandate shifted to technology assessment and refinement, and during the 11th Plan, KVKs would work as knowledge and resource center of agricultural technology. Role of KVKs in agricultural development. So far, the Indian Council of Agricultural Research, ICAR, has established a network of 683 Krishi Vigyan Kendras, KVKs, in the country. 669 KVKs were set up till 12th Plan, with mandate of technology assessment and demonstration for its application and capacity development for farmer-centric growth in agriculture and allied sectors through application of appropriate technologies in specific agro-ecosystem perspective. Demonstration of technologies. In order to demonstrate the production potential of agricultural technologies, frontline demonstrations, FLD, were conducted with the participation of farmers on various crops and enterprises. Under FLDs, focused and specialized programs were started for demonstrating the production potential of pulses and oilseeds through cluster frontline demonstrations by KVKs. At present, about 137 KVKs in India are conducting demonstration on pulse crop by linking all KVKs with Indian Institute of Pulse Research, Kanpur. The demonstrations have been systematically planned and implemented in 137 districts. The productivity of green gram in Rajasthan, pigeon pea and chickpea in Andhra Pradesh and Maharashtra increased manifold with the focused mode demonstration by KVKs. It has played a significant role in demonstrating improved varieties of chickpea, namely Vijay and Digvijay, on farmers' field. Assessment of technologies. During the 12th plan, the KVKs assist and refined technology interventions across India by laying out trials in farmers' field on various crops under different thematic areas, with varietal evaluation for cereals, pulses, oilseeds, fruits, vegetable crops and commercial crops, cropping systems, disease management, drudgery reduction, farm machineries, integrated crop management, integrated disease management, integrated nutrient management, IPM, integrated weed management, evaluation of breed, feed and fodder management, IFS, production and management, processing and value addition, energy conservation, small-scale income generation, and storage techniques, mushroom, vermicompost production, nutritional gardens, processing of fruits and vegetables, etc. The successful technological interventions tested under on-farm trials were subsequently also demonstrated as part of technology package for frontline demonstrations. 1925. Production of technological products. KVKs produced large quantity of technological products like seeds and planting materials of improved varieties and hybrids, bioproducts and elite species of livestock, poultry and fish. Awareness on improved technologies and government schemes. In order to create awareness among farmers on improved agricultural technologies developed, BNARS TAKEUPs conducted large number of extension activities with the participation of farmers. Mobile Advisory to Farmers. Kisan Mobile Advisory, KMA, an initiative by TAKEUPs is providing timely and need-based information to farming community. KVKs provided service through various service providers and using the mKisan portal. Information on weather, market, various farm operations, outbreak of pest and disease incidents and their control measures are given to farmers through short message service, SMS. Skill development training programs. In view of the priority of Government of India to develop skilled manpower in different sectors, special 200 skills-oriented programs were initiated during 2016-17 by 100 KVKs. Soil testing for sustainable agriculture. In the light of the initiatives of Government of India for soil health management as a part of natural resource management in the country, the KVKs are implementing Soil Health Card scheme every year for the farmers. Soil health cards have been provided to farmers with the advice to apply soil test-based nutrients to their crops. For attracting and retaining youth in agriculture, AYA, the AYA project is being implemented in 25 states through KVKs, one district from each state with technical partners from ICAR institutes and agricultural universities. In one district, 200 to 300 rural youths are identified for their skill development in entrepreneurial activities and establishment of related micro-enterprise units. The trained youth groups are functioning as role model for other youths and demonstrate the potentiality of the agri-based enterprises and also give training to other farmers. Farmer First Program. A new Farmer First program has been started at agricultural universities and ICAR institutes which aims at enriching farmers' scientist interface, technology assemblage, application and feedback, partnership and institutional building and content mobilization and providing a platform to 45,000 farmers and scientists for creating linkages, capacity development, technology adaptation and application, on-site input management, feedback and institution building. 1926. 10 Climate Resilient Agriculture. ICAR identified 100 KVKs across 29 states to have micro-level observations on soil and climate change in collaboration with Natural Resource Management, Division of ICAR and Central Research Institute on Drill and Agriculture, Krida, Hyderabad. Some notable achievements of KVK scheme. Promotion of improved method of sowing, particularly ridge and furrow broadbed. Furrow irrigated raised bed in soybean, chickpea, etc. by the KVKs of Madhya Pradesh resulted in procurement of more than 50,000 seed drills, equipped with ridge furrow attachments are now used in sowing operation. Soybean is being sown in Madhya Pradesh through ridge furrow method in more than 3.2 million ha area. For improving the vegetable farming in barren land through drip irrigation, KVK, Seoni, provided technical guidance to farmers for growing nursery management, planting, fertigation schedule and insect pest management for improved hybrids of vegetables, tomato, chili and capsicum, coupled with introduction of drip irrigation system in more than 150 ha. KVK Baramti, Pune populared in situ moisture conservation technology through farmers campaign. For this activity 42 rain-fed villages were selected and demonstrations were conducted for farmers by involving farmers clubs and State Department of Agriculture. Effectiveness of system of rice intensification, Shri, through FLD demonstrations increased the area manifold under Shri in rice-dominated regions of Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Odisha. With the technological support and demonstration of Vanaraja, there is up to 100% productivity enhancement by KVK Pulwama. Now, Vanaraja poultry strain is ruling backyards in Kashmir Valley. Conclusion. Agricultural knowledge management is gaining focal point for agricultural development in Take country. The role of KVKs is going to be toughest and challenging on this front. The experimentations and experiences of last 3.5 decades of implementing KVKs and other knowledge-sharing initiatives by ICAR have led to bring numerous changes in concept, approach and content. KVK is a fountainhead of technology and it must not deviate and venture into general extension. 1927. 7 Non-government organization, NGO, and self-help group. Approach for rural development. Non-governmental organizations, NGOs. As defined by the World Bank, NGOs refers to not-for-profit organizations that pursue activities to relieve suffering, promote the interests of the poor, protect the environment, provide basic social services, or undertake community development. These organizations are not a part of the government, have a legal status and are registered under the specific Act, Societies Registration Act, 1860 in India, of the government. The term NGO in India denotes wide spectrum of organizations which may be non-governmental, quasi or semi-governmental, voluntary or non-voluntary, etc. Role of NGOs in Indian democracy. India has nearly 3.4 million non-governmental organizations, NGOs, working in a variety of fields ranging from disaster relief to advocacy for marginalized and disadvantaged communities. Their role and responsibilities are immense in developing country like India, which can listed as follows. Bridging the gap. NGOs endeavor to plug gaps in the government's programs and reach out to sections of people often left untouched by state projects. For example, providing aid to migrant workers in COVID-19 crisis. Also, they are engaged in diverse activities relating to human and labor rights, gender issues, healthcare, environment, education, legal aid, and even research. Role of an enabler. Community-level outfits and self-help groups are critical for bringing any change in the ground. In the past, such grassroots organizations have been enabled by collaborations with bigger NGOs and research agencies that have access to foreign funding. Acting as a pressure group, there are political NGOs that mobilize public opinion against government's policies and actions. To the extent such NGOs are able to educate the public and put pressure on public policy, they act as important pressure groups in a democracy. They also mobilize and organize the poor to demand quality service and impose a community system to accountability on the performance of grassroots government functionaries. Role in participative governance. Many civil society initiatives have contributed to some of the path-breaking laws in the country, including the Environmental Protection Act 1986, Right to Education Act 2009, Forests Rights Act 2006 and Right to Information Act 2005. 1927. Acting as a social mediator. The social intermediation is an intervention of different levels of society by various agents to change social and behavioral attitudes within the prevailing social environment for achieving desired results of change in society. In Indian context wherein people are still steeped in superstition, faith, belief and custom, NGOs act as catalysts and create awareness among people. Issues emanating from NGOs. Lack of credibility. During the last few years, numerous organizations have mushroomed which claim to work for the cause of helping the poor. Under the garb of being an NGO, these NGOs often mint money from donors and are also involved in money laundering activities. There is nearly one NGO for every 400 people in India. However, not every NGO out there is engaged in serious social welfare work. Many are fraudulent and many are there without much serious intent. Lack of transparency. India's disproportionate number of NGOs and the sector's lack of transparency and accountability is clearly an issue that needs reforms. Further, the allegations of corruption against NGOs be ignored. In the past, many NGOs were blacklisted after being found to have indulged in misappropriation of funds. Undermining development activities. A report by India's Intelligence Bureau accused NGOs such as Greenpeace, CODAID, Amnesty, and Action Aid for reducing India's GDP by 2 to 3% per year. Some NGOs in agriculture development. Myrada through its various programs reaches out to people in various districts of Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh and is providing ongoing support including deputations of staff to programs in 6 other states. It also promotes the self-help affinity strategy in Cambodia, Myanmar and Bangladesh. While the objective is to help the poor help themselves, Myrada achieves this by forming self-help affinity groups, SHGs, and through partnerships with NGOs and other organizations. The major areas of work include Hill Area Development Program through participatory technology interventions. The Building Family Ties Program. Watershed Development. 1927. Agricultural Extension Health and Sanitation. NERD. Non-Conventional Energy and Rural Development, i.e. NERD, Society was established in the year 1984 and it is registered under Societies Registration Act and the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. A small women group of development workers initiated an integrated development program, in consensus with rational development policies. The Non-Conventional Energy and Rural Development, i.e. NERD, Society is implementing many programs including empowerment of women through promotion of self-help groups, promotion of renewable energy programs including biogas program, solar energy programs and improved smokeless chulha program, waste management and treatment, water conservation, vermicomposting and organic farming program. Done. Development of Human Action, Done, Foundation, a professional development organization, was initiated on 2 October 1997. It has been incorporated as a trust under the Indian Trusts Act, 1882. The trust has been promoted with the objective of bringing highly motivated and educated young women and men to the development sector. They would work on bringing out new innovations in rural development and for upscaling development interventions to eradicate poverty in vast areas of the country. The foundation works towards bringing significant changes in the livelihoods of the poor through innovations in themes and institutions. SEEDS. The acronym SEEDS stands for Sustainable Environment and Ecological Development Society. This 26-year-old organization is active across India and in Nepal. This NGO works to create a safer and more sustainable Asia. The goal of SEEDS is simple yet powerful: protect the people exposed to disasters. Their dedicated team partners up with local and central governments, companies and other non-profits to reach out to families affected by earthquakes, floods, cyclones, climate emergencies and pandemics. 1929. Pratham. This is one of the largest NGOs in India and focuses on quality education through innovative learning. Pratham was founded back in 1995 yet continues to find new ways to ensure that children learn and stay strong. Haritika is an organization started with the aim of working on sustainable projects related to water harvesting and management, crop optimization, soil conservation, and afforestation. Ade was started in 2007 to revive the cotton route to not only bring additional income to the farmers and weavers but also to re-establish the cultural landscape. They plan to revive the indigenous cotton through sustainable farming and scale up sales of its byproduct with the help of technology. The NGO has also established a sustainable income source for the fisher women of Pulicat through their palm leaf craft marketing plan. 1929. Self-help groups. SHGs is in NDEM, informal it empowers group where women rural both people socially come and together economically. And work SHGs as a create team which awareness build. ATAM spirit to make a fruitful contribution to the growth and development in rural areas. It is and enforce them which brings evolution for backward rural women. It leads them to implement an effective strategy launched by the government like poverty alleviation, Swarnajayanti Rozgar Gram Yojana the program and so on. Self-help groups play a major role in poverty alleviation in rural areas. A growing number of poor people join this group which helps to generate employment opportunities and also encourage saving habits among them. It helps to create awareness about the economic condition and also offering women the possibility to break gradually away from exploitation and isolation. SHGs are small functional groups in rural areas where 10 to 20 women and or men join this group, but in India, 90% of groups are formed by women. The initial operation starts with collecting savings from members. By collecting huge amount can be given to the needy members. India's SHG journey. India's earliest self-help groups started in 1972 with the Self-Employed Women's Association in Ahmedabad working with poor, self-employed women in the informal sector. The group tried to help these women get work, income and food security. Since 1983, the idea of microfinance, small loans to those usually out of the formal credit net gained popularity in Bangladesh with Muhammad Yunus Grameen Bank. In the 1990s, the National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development in India started supporting self-help groups, and the Reserve Bank of India allowed the groups to open savings accounts with banks in 1993. The government began a formal program to encourage self-help groups in 1999, called the Swarnajayanti Gram Swarozgar Yojana, but the program failed to achieve its aims and was revamped by National Rural Livelihood Mission. National Rural Livelihood Mission linked several self-help groups to village-level organizations and several village-level organizations to a cluster-level federation. The program also trained local women to run these organizations. Functions. It encourages saving with Samanthi members. To build self-confidence. To provide credit facilities in the hour of needs. To organize training facilities, create teamwork. To develop leadership qualities. 1930. Empowerment through SHGs. In India, nearly 50% women constitutes of the total population, majority of them especially in rural rely on men for their livelihood and continues to be voiceless section. They did not have a right to take the decision and her role is not attached to the economic value. Since household health and nutrition generally in the hand of the women, the empowerment of them is necessary. SHGs is an innovative tool which improves the situation of women socially and economically. Economic empowerment. SHGs resolve the issues of unemployment in the rural areas by generating employment opportunities that aid women to make her economically independent and bring equality and translate their income directly into the family well-being. Social empowerment. It improves the equality status by bringing women in the mainstream of the decision. It ensures the equality status of women in the democratic, economic, social and cultural sphere of life. It changes the view of the society in rural areas. Most of the women remain in the home. She was not permitted to go outside and talked with an outsider. SHGs motivate rural people to join the group and make aware that both men and women have an equal role in society. Without supporting each other, they cannot live a better life. Political empowerment. SHGs are the beginning of a major process of political empowering women where members perform their transactional activities. Political empowerment reflects the participation in village panchayats, Mandi Praja Parishads, and Zilla Parishads. After the 73rd Amendment Act, 33% reservation of women is reserved in panchayats. In general, we found the large numbers of women enter politics, but it does not ensure that the women participation in politics and function as elected representatives because of lack of education. She did not know how to perform their work and always suffered discrimination and lack of power as a consequences on behalf of her male members of the family perform her function. SHGs help to give formal education to women and enable her to develop their communication skills so she can properly convey her issues and discuss it in the public meetings. Psychological empowerment. When women become the members of the SHGs, they automatically become partners in all the economic activities. In rural areas, most people are not aware of the medical facilities, sanitation, drinking water facilities which are provided by the government. With the help of SHGs, people can directly discuss their issues easily with the authorities. In rural areas, people are shy of going to medical practitioners for their treatments and they resort themselves to self-medication. SHGs make aware of the diseases which are spread of not having proper sanitation and also teach them about the benefits of taking proper treatment. SHGs creates confidence among members and encourage them to face any critical situation courageously. It enables the members to interact with others confidently and express their opinion freely. 1931. Benefits of SHGs. Social integrity. SHGs encourages collective efforts for combating practices like dowry, alcoholism, etc. Gender equity. SHGs empowers women and inculcates leadership skill among them. Empowered women participate more actively in Gram Sabha and elections. There is evidence in this country as well as elsewhere that formation of self-help groups has a multiplier effect in improving women's status in society as well as in the family, leading to improvement in their socio-economic condition and also enhances their self-esteem. Pressure groups. Their participation in governance process enables them to highlight issues such as dowry, alcoholism, the menace of open defecation, primary health care, etc. and impact policy decision. Voice to marginalized section. Most of the beneficiaries of government schemes have been from weaker and marginalized communities and hence their participation through SHGs ensures social justice. Financial inclusion. Priority sector lending norms and assurance of returns incentivize banks to lend to SHGs. The SHG Bank Linkage Program pioneered by NABARD has made access to credit easier and reduced the dependence on traditional money lenders and other non-institutional sources. Improving efficiency of government schemes and reducing corruption through social audits. Alternate source of employment. It eases dependency on agriculture by providing support in setting up micro-enterprises, e.g. personalized business ventures like tailoring, grocery, and tool repair shops. Changes in consumption pattern. It has enabled the participating households to spend more on education, food and health than non-client households. Impact on housing and health. The financial inclusion attained through SHGs has led to reduced child mortality, improved maternal health and the ability of the poor to combat disease through better nutrition, housing and health, especially among women and children. Banking literacy. It encourages and motivates its members to save and act as a conduit for formal banking services to reach them. SHGs and rural development. To improve the standard living of the rural people, SHGs play a crucial role in self-employment by raising the level of income and standard of living in rural people. It provides great opportunities. 1931. By giving necessary training which enables them to contribute towards their community development. Various micro-enterprises like pickle manufacture, agarbatti making, honey and food processing, spices production, dairy farming, group leaf plate making, etc. helps rural people to make products according to the local demand, which proves beneficial for those rural people who make their contribution in the socio-economic development. In India, 66% population of the rural people depend upon agriculture. With the help of SHGs, the agricultural extension programs of the Ministry of Agriculture could be effectively followed. It also establishes link with the animal husbandry and dairy development, so the rural people who mostly depend upon dairy, poultry farming, sheep breeding are preferred activities among rural people can take facilities which are provided by them. SHGs provide services for the eradication of diseases like tuberculosis, polio, and acquired immune deficiency syndrome, AIDS, which are common among the rural people through communicating them about the benefits of programs launched by the Health Ministry. Most of the rural people do not know about birth control pills. SHGs try to teach them how to use it and what precaution they should take. SHGs give an adult education to the rural people so they come to know about the safe sex they can do through associating many NGOs and other development interventions. The organizations like Khadi and Village Industries Commission, Small Scale Industries, Ministry of Textiles, Development Commissioner, Handloom, etc. have programs for the development of clusters in places where traditionally some activities have been going on. For instance, carpet weaving, handloom, pottery, woodcraft, stone carving, cane, and bamboo, etc. are popular in some parts of the country. There is a need to identify all such activities that could be taken up in clusters covering the groups of rural artisans in various areas. The cluster approach has the advantage of bringing in economies of scale as well as developing backward and forward linkages. Weaknesses of SHGs. Members of a group do not come necessarily from the poorest families. Though there has been social empowerment of the poor, the economic gain to bring about a qualitative change in their life has not been satisfactory. Many of the activities undertaken by the SHGs are still based on primitive skills related mostly to primary sector enterprises. With poor value addition per worker and prevalence of subsistence level wages, such activities often do not lead to any substantial increase in the income of group members. 1932. There is a lack of acquisition qualified resource of new personnel skills by in-group the rural members. Areas further, who could institutional help in skill mechanisms upgradation for capacity building and skill training have been lacking. Poor accounting practices and incidents of misappropriation of funds. Lack of resources and means to market their goods. SHGs are heavily dependent on their promoter NGOs and government agencies. The withdrawal of support often leads to their collapse. Challenges: lack of knowledge and proper orientation among SHG members to take up suitable and profitable livelihood options. Patriarchal mindset, primitive thinking and social obligations discourages women from participating in SHGs, thus limiting their economic avenues. Lack of rural banking facilities. There are about 1.2 lakh bank branches and over 6 lakh villages. Moreover, many public sector banks and microfinance institutions are unwilling to provide financial services to the poor as the cost of servicing remains high. Sustainability and the quality of operations of the SHGs have been a matter of considerable debate. No security. The SHGs work on mutual trust and confidence of the members. The deposits of the SHGs are not secured or safe. Only a minority of the self-help groups are able to raise themselves from a level of microfinance to that of micro-entrepreneurship. Measures to make SHGs effective. The government should play the role of a facilitator and promoter, create a supportive environment for the growth and development of the SHG movement. Expanding SHG movement to credit-deficient areas of the country, such as Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, states of the Northeast. Rapid expansion of financial infrastructure, including that of NABD, and by adopting extensive IT-enabled communication and capacity-building measures in these states. Extension of self-help groups to urban peri-urban areas. Efforts should be made to increase income generation abilities of the urban poor, as there has been a rapid rise in urbanization and many people remain financially excluded. Positive attitude. Government functionaries should treat the poor and marginalized as viable and responsible customers and as possible entrepreneurs. 1932. Monitoring. Need to establish a separate SHG monitoring cell in every state. The cell should have direct links with district and block level monitoring system. The cell should collect both quantitative and qualitative information. Need-based approach. Commercial banks and NABD in collaboration with the state government need to continuously innovate and design new financial products for these groups. Case studies. Kudambashri in Kerala. It was launched in Kerala in 1998 to wipe out absolute poverty through community action. It is the largest women empowering project in the country. It has 3 components: I.E, microcredit, entrepreneurship and empowerment. It has 3-tier structure: neighborhood groups, SHG, Area Development Society, 15 to 20 SHGs, and Community Development Society, Federation of all groups. Kudambashri is a government agency that has a budget and staff paid by the government. The 3 tiers are also managed by unpaid volunteers. Mahila Arthik Vikas Mahmandal, Mavim, in Maharashtra. SHGs in Maharashtra were unable to cope with growing volume and financial transactions and needed professional help. Community Managed Resource Center, CMRC, under Mavim was launched to provide financial and livelihood services to SHGs. CMRC is self-sustaining and provides need-based services. Microfinance and SHGs are not just needed to resolve the issue of poverty but also for individual development. It is a way and brings the most neglected poor rural into the lit of zones. Despite various problems and constraints, it brings positive changes in the lives of poor people in rural areas. 1933. 8 new trend in agricultural transition worldwide. EXTENSIO in government and international. Agricultural are advancing extension structural, private continuous financial extension to be and including managerial reforms to improve extension e-extension services. Agencies pluralism, PPP, market-led decentralization, of ICT, e-agriculture, mobile agriculture. These are some of the innovations in through application extensions current transitions all over the world. Private extension concept and definition of privatization. Privatization is defined as the act of reducing the role of government or increasing the role of private sector in an activity or in the ownership of assets. Privatization of extension service refers to the services rendered in the area of agriculture and allied aspects by extension personnel working in private agencies or organizations for which farmers are expected to pay a fee, or free, and it can be viewed as supplementary or alternative to public extension services. Rationale for private extension in India. The debate concerning the role of public sector agricultural extension was initiated in the 1980s. It generated momentum in 1990s. Many new institutional arrangements for providing extension support to farmers emerged and have gained prominence due to several reasons. The increasing inability of the government to adequately fund extension machinery. Growing dissatisfaction with the quality of extension services available. The extension worker-farmer ratio is very wide in India, i.e. 1:1,000. Increasing transformation of agriculture in several parts of the world from subsistence to commercialized agribusiness. Gradual change of technology from being largely a public good to private good. Technology development in mass media. Increased specialization among farmers. Increasing involvement of input companies and product marketing companies in transfer of technology. Rise in number of NGOs ready to implement rural development programs. Cost sharing by farmers group. Changing cropping pattern and emergence of contract farming. Loss of credibility in the existing extension system. Inability of public extension system to reach the large target client system. Disappointing performance of public extension service. Commercialization of agriculture, etc. 1935. Advantages of private extension system. 1. Private extension reduces the economic burden of governments, as in Netherlands. 2. It increases the efficiency of extension services provided up to the satisfaction of farmers. Privatization increases the accountability of extension agents, as in extension contract system in China, and increases the competency of the research system. In China, government can have maximum control over private extension activities, as in Chile. Disadvantages of private extension. 1. Privatization may hamper free flow of information. Government extension agents often contribute their knowledge to publish in farm magazine or in a radio program either without asking for payment or for only a small honorarium. With privatization, they may charge for their services in order to earn money for their organization. Farmers may be less interested to disseminate technologies to other farmers what they have learned from private extension. Only commercial farmers will be benefited through privatization, and subsistence farmers will seldom be able to pay this fee. The commercial interests of these private agencies may jeopardize the efforts of research and extension of eco-friendly and sustainable agriculture. Contact between farmers and extension agents gets declined. Cyber extension. Cyber extension can be defined as the extension over cyberspace. As the word extension is subject neutral, so is cyber extension. But in the applied context of agriculture, cyber extension means using the power of online computer networks with the help of communication channels to deliver the content in the form of text, graphics, audio and video either passively or interactively to facilitate dissemination of agricultural technology. Cyber extension includes effective use of information communication technology, ICT, national and international information networks, internet, expert systems, multimedia learning systems and computer-based training systems to improve information access to the farmers, extension workers, research scientists and extension managers. Same concept is being promoted under the titles like e-extension, tele-extension, e-agriculture by various national and international organizations and universities. Mishra, 1999, defined cyber extension as extension over the cyberspace, the imaginary space behind the interconnected telecommunication and computer networks, the virtual world. In the applied context, cyber extension may be defined as dissemination of information over the cyberspace for the well-being of extension's client, the farmer, and farm people, directly or through the established intermediary of extensionists. 1936. Rationale for cyber extension in India. The ongoing IT revolution has opened huge opportunities for providing access to information as well as to interactive distance learning in rural India. Computer-aided knowledge dissemination mechanism help to reach the unreached and foster new voices and new leaders. Secondly, the pilot projects of One Wired Villages in Maharashtra and Info Villages in Pondicherry have successfully demonstrated the acceptability and usage of high-end information and communication connectivity at village level. Thus, information will be the highly effective way to empower the rural population. Thirdly, some limitations of traditional agricultural extension methods. Traditional extensions are expensive. To train a whole chain of extension personnel from district, subdivisional, block and village level extension workers, and time-consuming process. 2. The quality of messages get eroded as it passes through different layers. 3. Top-down extension system etc. make cyber extension necessary. Fourthly, agriculture is becoming more specialized, commercial and demand-driven, and on the other hand, integration of other enterprises like livestock, horticulture, sericulture etc. in the farming system requires the extension worker at the cutting-edge level to be master of so many trades. But this is not possible. Cyber extension can help the extension workers to be more effective in meeting farmers' information needs. Advantages of cyber extension. The cyber extension naturally cannot and will not eliminate all the problems of traditional extension. In most cases, cyber extension will complement the traditional extension. Important advantages of cyber extension are presented below. Cyber extension will save money, time and effort. Scientists will prepare electronic version of messages themselves. These versions do not have to be printed and posted. This will save money and time. Cyber messages will be updated online and that saves time too. Cyber extension can provide more in-depth analysis and can also provide detailed on-farm research results to the farmers. Cyber extension will reduce dependence on the extension functionaries. Generally, rural people depend upon various government and non-government personnel for obtaining information and advice on farming and allied sectors. But in real situation, rural people may not get adequate information at the right time and in proper way. Cyber extension will reduce dependency of the rural people on so many actors in the chain of extension system. The scientists can directly post the information on the internet, which will be directly available to extension functionaries at district, subdivision, block and village level. So cyber extension can shorten the steps of extension process. 1936. Easier accessibility in remote areas. Information communication technology can easily reach the people in remote areas. People living and working particularly in geographically isolated areas like hill, desert terrain, riverine etc. where the extension workers are generally reluctant to stay and serve the people, can get their needed information through cyber extension system. Cyber extension can provide early warning before natural disaster. Early warning facilitates preparedness in advance, resulting in mitigation of loss of life and property, and ensures timely rehabilitation. A network of ICT system can ensure such preparedness. Cyber extension will be continuously available. One of the key attributes of an online information service is that it is available all the time, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. If one has connectivity, the information may be obtained instantaneously. E-extension. Definition and concept. E-extension can be defined simply as the electronic technologies, especially information communication technology or ICT, to enhance face-to-face or paper-based interactions. These technologies can be as simple as teleconferences or as complex as wikis and blogs. E-extension is a virtual network of ICT. It is web-based electronic form to serve as information hub of the area. It includes teleconferencing, video conferencing and mobile-based information and education delivery approach. The e-extension network would be multidisciplinary in nature. E-extension program for agriculture. The e-extension program for agriculture and allied sectors is an electronic delivery of extension services by a network of institutions. It provides a viable method of transfer of technology to the traditional extension systems for the development of agriculture, fisheries and natural resources, etc. It maximizes the distinct advantage of ICT towards the attainment of a modernized agriculture and fisheries sector by focusing on the creation of an electronic and interactive bridge where farmers, fishermen and other stakeholders meet and transact to enhance productivity, profitability and global competitiveness. E-extension and cyber extension are more or less synonymous and can be used interchangeably. Cyber extension and e-extension are extension approaches, whereas ICT is the tools by which various services are delivered to the clientele fulfilling the objectives of e-extension. Cyber extension. Market-led extension. Concept. Market-led extension is an approach through which extension system will reach to the clientele on an end-to-end basis, beginning from package of practices for production to selling of produce at the consumer's door so that the farmers can get remunerative prices for their produces. In this approach, the focus of extension functionaries need to be extended beyond production. Farmers should be sensitized on various aspects on quality, consumers' preferences. 1938. Market intelligence, processing, value addition and other marketing information. This will help farming community to realize higher returns for their produce, minimize the production costs and improve the product value and marketability. Advantages of market-led extension. In absence of market-led extension, farmers are compelled to sell their produce in local mandis, market, through middlemen and commission agents. Traditional marketing does not fetch remunerative prices for farmers' produce. Important advantages of market-led extension are: future marketing will diminish the role of middlemen in the marketing system. Market-led extension helps in reducing the glut or scarcity of a product. It gives more income and also guides them to decide regarding selection of crops as per farming situation. It helps to link farmers more closely to consumers. It can regulate production on the basis of consumer preferences for quantity, quality, variety and food safety. Essential principles, axioms, of market-led extension. A market-driven extension, all over the globe, should follow a universally received principle or axiom which should be kept in mind by both the producers and extension agents. The first axiom is that if there is not a market, farmers should not be encouraged to produce a specific crop or product. Therefore, the first task to be carried out is to assess the potential markets for different high-value crops or products that can be successfully produced in different blocks within the district. The second axiom is that if farmers cannot easily transport the product to market, search for more promising products that can be easily marketed. The third axiom is that if the crop or product cannot be successfully grown or produced within the district due to unfavorable agroecological conditions, then look for more promising crops or products that are well suited to the district. The fourth axiom is to diversify into a variety of different high-value crops products that are suitable for different farmers' interest group, FIG, or women interest groups, WIGs, within the district. This approach will mitigate risk by not saturating the market with one or two products and thereby driving down prices. Differences between production-led extension and market-led extension. The differences between production-led extension and market-led extension are as follows. In production-led extension, farmers are perceived as producers of commodities, whereas in market-led extension, farmers are considered as an entrepreneur or agripreneur. The focus of production-led extension is only to increase production or yield per unit area, seed to seed, but the focus of market-led extension is on high returns, rupee to rupee. 1938. In climatic production-led zone, irrespective extension of their farming is a fixed situation. Package but of their recommended is a diverse technology basket of for package each agro of practices suitable to local farming situation in market-led extension. In production-led extension, extension workers generally contact with individual farmers, whereas in market-led extension group approach, farmers interest group, commodity interest group, SHGs, is followed by extension personnel. The role of extensionists is limited to transfer of technology and feedback to research system in production-led extension. In market-led extension, the extension personnel provides information not only on transfer of technology but also possesses knowledge on market intelligence, value addition, marketing and agro-processing linkages. Maintenance of record is not much important as the focus is on production in the former case, but in market-led extension, maintenance of records, calculation of cost-benefit ratio and profit are important as agriculture is viewed as an enterprise. Limited or no information technology support is required as emphasis is given on production technologies in the former case, whereas advanced communication network using ICT is required in market-led extension. Farmer-led extension. Concept. The participatory and bottom-up extension approach where farmers, rather than professional extensionists or researchers, have acted as principal agents of change in rural communities for livelihood security and poverty alleviation through formation of farmers' organizations, farmers' interest group, commodity interest group, etc., is called farmer-led extension. In this approach, farmers are not only key to assessing services provided by extension personnel and researchers, but also make management decisions, and they do much of the extension work. Because the recommended technologies and approaches are determined locally, these can be adopted to suit particular needs in the village. Difference between production-led extension and farmer-led extension components. Production-led extension, farmer-led extension. Purpose, objective, transfer of production technology, capacity building of farmer extensionist, create para-professional extension workers, strengthening local institute goal, food self-sufficiency, livelihood security, poverty alleviation, sustainability and biodiversity conservation. 1939. 3. Approach, top-down and supply-driven, participatory, bottom-up and demand-driven actors, mostly public institutions, pluralistic with public-private NGO and farmers organization as a partner mode, interpersonal and individual approach on farm, participatory, experimental learning methods supported by ICTs and media, role of extension agents limited to delivery mode and feedback to research system, facilitator, linkage, research extension, farmer research extension, farmer organization. FIGS, CIG, SHG, emphasis, production, seed-to-seed knowledge management and sharing, nature of technology, input-intensive, crop-based and general recommendation as per agroclimatic zones, fixed package of information, knowledge-intensive, broad-based blending with ITK, critical input, money and material, access to information, building human and social capital, accountability, mostly government to farmers rather than donors. Steps for promoting farmer-led extension. Important steps for promoting farmer-led extension are presented below. Identification of innovative farmer extension agents. The first step in farmer-led extension is to identify innovative farmers who are already producing and marketing specific high-value crops or products. The first step is to determine whether this crop or product had the potential of being scaled up within the community or sub-district level. In Nepal, this farmer is called experienced leader farmer. Group formation. The second step of farmer-led extension is to promote farmers' interest group, women interest group, commodity interest group. Local NGOs can play an important role in formation of different groups. Capacity building. Capacity building of these organized groups for advanced agricultural production technology is required by training. Promotion of farmers participate are via research and extension programs for location-specific technology development. Farmers groups are to be equipped with market intelligence and ICT for access to market information. 2002. Expert system extension. Concept and definition. An expert system is an intelligent computer program that uses knowledge and inference procedures to solve problems. These problems are so difficult and cannot be solved by human expert. One of the most powerful attributes of expert system is the ability to explain reasoning. The concept of expert system development came from the subject domain of artificial intelligence, AI. It is different from conventional computing practices and program techniques. Expert system can be defined as a tool for information generation from knowledge. It is a computer program designed to stimulate the problem-solving behavior of an expert in a narrow domain or discipline. Expert system combines the experimental and experiential knowledge with intuitive reasoning skills of specialists to help farmer in making best decisions for their crops. The difference between an expert system and a conventional computer program is that the expert system manipulates knowledge while conventional program manipulates data. Difference between conventional extension and expert system extension. 2003. Extension limited possibility to disseminate information to all farmers at the farmer's need, resources, market facilities are rarely analysis is not well calculated. Expert system extension there is possibility to same information to all the same time. The farmer's needs, infrastructure, market considered while information technology. Recommendations depend calculated cost benefit agent is available. May not be updated. Is fragmented, as it is totally any cyber cafe at any time. The information is updated day basis. The working is through and very compact and with a number of electronic. 2005. Conventional extension there is limited possibility to disseminate the same information to all farmers at the same time. In this system farmers' need, resources, infrastructure, market facilities are rarely considered. Cost benefit analysis is not well calculated. The farmer can get information only if extension agent is available. The information may not be updated. The working is fragmented, as it is totally manual. 2005. Expert system extension there is possibility to disseminate the same information to all the farmers at the same time. The farmer's needs, resources, infrastructure, market facilities etc. are considered while recommending the information technology. Recommendations depend on well calculated cost benefit analysis. The farmer can get information from any cyber cafe at any place at any time. The information is updated on day-to-day basis. The working is through networking and very compact and interconnected with a number of electronic system. 2006. Potential benefits of expert system. 1. Expert system combines experimental and conventional knowledge with reasoning skills of specialists to help farmers in making the best decisions for successfully raising a crop. In traditional technology transfer system, a number of agencies are involved and the information contents are diluted. The expert system transfer information of experts without any dilution. It can recommend on the basis of well-calculated cost-benefit analysis. In conventional extension, the information may not be updated, but expert system provide dynamic, updated information related to the actual situation. Expert system provides recommendations in the absence of an human expert and reduce the workload of the experts. The use of expert system for rapid identification of the real problems combined with immediate recommendations for control would ensure that crop losses are minimized. Objectives of expert system. The main objectives of developing expert system in agriculture are to enhance the performance of agricultural extension personnel and farmers, to make farming more efficient and profitable, to reduce the time required in solving the problems and performing the routine tasks of extension workers. Application of expert system in agriculture. The expert system can be applied in various domains of agriculture. These are crop selection including horticultural crops, crop production estimates, plant disease and pest management, soil management, weed management, irrigation management, whole farm planning, etc. Expert system in India. Few examples: wheat crop. Indian Agricultural Statistics Research Institute, IASRI, has developed an expert system on wheat crop management system, ExoHem, to diagnose pests and diseases for wheat crop and suggest preventive curative measures. Rice crop doctor. National Institute of Agricultural Extension Management, MANAGE, has developed an expert system to diagnose pests and diseases for rice crop and suggest preventive curative measures. The rice crop doctor illustrates the use of expert systems specifically in the 695.2006 area of rice production, taking into consideration of a few major pests and diseases and some deficiency problems limiting the rice yield. Grape cultivation. Indian Institute of Horticultural Research, Bangalore, developed an expert system for the grape cultivators. Agrex, Center for Informatics Research and Advancement, Kerala, has prepared an expert system called Agrex to help agricultural field personnel give timely and correct advice to the farmers relating to fertilizer application, crop protection, irrigation scheduling, diagnosis of diseases in paddy and post-harvest technology of fruits and vegetables. 2053. 8 Role of ICTs in agriculture. Agriculture faces a range of modern and serious challenges, particularly in developing countries exposed to price shocks, climate change, and continued deficiencies in infrastructure in rural areas. It is in this context that ICTs play a crucial role in helping people meet the demand for increased food production. ICTs can play a very crucial role by disseminating information to farmers to help them make better, well-informed decisions. Through ICTs, people can obtain the latest up-to-date information, learn and practice sustainable farming. Information and Communication Technology, ICT, is defined by the World Bank as any device, tool, or application that permits the exchange or collection of data through interaction or transmission. It includes anything ranging from radio to satellite imagery to mobile phones or electronic money transfers. ICT in agriculture. Farmers make decisions every day, in a lot of risky and uncertain situations. These decisions will have to be made with the information available with them at that point of time. Access, efficiency and affordability of agricultural information continue to be a major impediment for raising agricultural productivity among smallholders in the developing countries. It is in this arena that ICTs can play a very crucial role by disseminating information to farmers to help them make better, well-informed decisions. It is in the context of globalizing agriculture where the need for information becomes most vivid. Smallholders, who still provide a significant portion of the world's food, need information to advance their work just as much as industrial-scale producers. ICTs can help overcome various bottlenecks present in agriculture. Firstly, there is a lack of extension facilities available. Secondly, issue of illiteracy amongst farmers. Thirdly, capability of farmers to compete with large farmers is limited. Fourthly, the gap existing between the modern and traditional technologies is widening. Lastly, farmers are disconnected with the latest information available. ICT can help us meet the demand for food by collecting and sharing timely and accurate information on weather, inputs, markets, and prices, by feeding information into research and development initiatives, by disseminating knowledge to farmers, by connecting producers and consumers, and through many other avenues. ICT services provide critical access to the knowledge, information and technology that farmers require to improve the productivity and thus improve the quality of their lives and livelihoods. With the advancements in the technology world, the lag that is available between generation and 2054. Dissemination of information has been reduced drastically. This has enhanced the capability of farmers to manage weather risks, technological risks, price risks and many more such risks. ICTs assist with implementing regulatory policies, frameworks and ways to monitor progress. ICTs widen the reach of local communities, including women and youth, and provide newer business opportunities, thereby enhancing livelihoods. ICTs increase access to financial services for rural communities, helping to secure savings, find affordable insurance and tools to better manage risk. ICTs help deliver more efficient and reliable data to comply with international traceability standards. Source: FAO, ITU. ICTs bridge the gap between agricultural researchers, extension agents and farmers, thereby enhancing agricultural production. ICTs improve access to climate-smart solutions as well as appropriate knowledge to use them. ICTs provide actionable information to communities and governments on disaster prevention in real time, while also providing advice on risk mitigation techniques. ICTs facilitate market access for inputs as well as product marketing and trade in a variety of ways. Figure 1. Role of ICT in agriculture. Agriculture Technology Information Center, ATIC. The importance of an appropriate information package and its dissemination as an input has assumed added emphasis in this information age. The kind of information and the way it is to be used are critical factor to the growth of agriculture. It is also worth noting that it is no longer enough for research to generate information alone. The required information is also to be delivered to the end user at one place. This information must be direct, clear and easily understandable and without any room for distortion. The facility of a single window approach at the entrance of the ICAR Institute State Agricultural Universities will enable the farmers to have the required information for the solution to their problems related to the areas in which the concerned institute is involved. 2055. The rationale for establishment of ATIC are to provide diagnostic services for soil and water testing, plant and livestock health, to supply research products such as seeds and other planting materials, poultry strains, livestock breeds, fish seed, processed products, etc. Emerging from the institution for testing and adaptation by various clientele. Providing information through published literature and communication materials as well as audio-visual aids. Providing an opportunity to the institutes so as to generate some resource through the sale of their technologies. Government ICT initiatives. A comprehensive ICT strategy has, therefore, been developed not only to reach out to farmers in an easy and better way but also for planning and monitoring of schemes so that policy decisions can be taken at a faster pace and farmers can be benefited quickly. 1. Use of basic mobile telephony. Since the penetration of smartphones with internet in rural areas is around 18% only, mobile telephony is considered to be the alternate and the best option to deliver services to the farmers. Mobile telephony has transformed the tenor of our lives. More than 5.13 crore farmers are registered and experts scientists of different departments like IMD, ICAR, state government, state, agriculture universities send information to farmers in 12 local languages. Weather information about likelihood of rainfall, temperature, etc. enables farmers to make informed decision in choice of seed varieties, decide on timing of sowing and harvesting. With market information, farmers are better informed about markets to sell produce, prevailing market prices and quantity demanded in the market. Thus, they can make informed decisions to sell produce at the right price and right time. This helps reducing distressed sales by farmers due to market supply fluctuations. 2. Farmers Portal. Farmers Portal is a one-stop shop for farmers where a farmer can get relevant information on range of topics including seeds, fertilizer, pesticides, credit, good practices, dealer network, availability of inputs, agromate advisory, animal husbandry, etc. 3. Development of mobile apps. Spreading agricultural related information to farmers in the poorest communities has been made easier by proliferation of mobile phones. Today, mobile apps and services are being designed and released in different parts of the world. Mobile apps help to fulfill the larger objective of farmers' empowerment and facilitates in extension services which can address food security issues. Various mobile apps have been developed for farmers. Some of them are listed below. Kisan Suvidha. It is an omnibus mobile app to help farmers by providing relevant information to them quickly. It has a simple interface and provides information on critical parameters weather, input dealers, market price, plant protection, expert advisories, cold storage and godowns, crop. 2056. Insurance, veterinary centers and diagnostics labs. An additional tab directly connects the farmer with the Kisan call center where agriculture experts answer their queries. Unique features like extreme weather alerts and market prices of commodity in nearest area and the maximum price in state as well as India have been added to empower farmers in the best possible manner. Pusa Krishi. This mobile app, Pusa Krishi, has been developed to realize the dream, lab to land. Indian Agriculture Research Institute, Pusa has developed many high-yielding varieties of agriculture, horticulture crops and other path-breaking technologies in the fields of natural resources management, integrated nutrient management, plant protection, soil and water management, mechanization, diagnostic technologies, etc. This app will help farmers to get information about technologies developed by IARI, which will eventually help in increasing returns to farmers. This mobile app is also intended towards agri startups, industry partners to whom these technologies will be transferred for further taking it to the farmers. Constraints for using ICT applications. The rural community, especially farmers, is facing many problems in the use of ICT tools such as mobile phones. There are many constraints such as knowledge, content and accessibility. Knowledge-related constraints. Sometimes in rural areas, people have mobile phones but they do not know about the availability of apps and the manner in which app is to be utilized. Therefore, the such applications developed by institutes to provide agricultural information and services to the farmers remain inadequately explored and exploited. In majority of cases, users are seen to use mobile phones for social purposes only. The illiteracy is also a major hindering factor for effective use of mobile phone among farmers, because farmers could not contact with related officers and department and get information about different agricultural information. Content-related constraints. Main challenges are language barrier and difficulty in accessing accurate, timely and reliable information. Non-availability of content in vernacular languages as well as lack of pictorial interface in retrieving the content is biggest challenge for them. Accessibility. Most of the farmers do not use smartphone and so they cannot get information that is developed based on smartphone software. Therefore, there is a need to develop applications which can also provide information through SMS. Major constraints in accessibility is slow internet speed, poor connectivity and poor network coverage in rural India which is affecting effective use of mobile phone applications. ICTs not only help to disseminate information, rather it also improves the farmers' knowledge base, increase their participation and share the knowledge amongst farmers. The proper use of ICT helps to overcome the time, space, language and illiteracy barriers effectively. Thus ICT has emerged as a core driver of the modern knowledge-based economy promoting socio-economic development of the country. 2057, 10. Socio-economic survey and status of big, small and marginal farmers and landless agricultural laborers. Pattern of agricultural land holdings in India. As per FASI results of the Agriculture Census, 2015-16, the number of operational holdings, i.e., land put to agricultural use, has increased to 14.6 crore in 2015 to 16 from 13.8 crore in 2010 to 11, thereby registering an increase of 5.3%. The share of marginal holdings, less than 1 ha, in total operational holdings increased from 62.9% in January 2000 to 68.5% in 2015 to 16, while the share of small holdings, 1 ha to 2 ha, decreased from 18.9% to 17.7% during this period. Large holdings, above 4 ha, decreased from 6.5% to 4.3%. The area operated by the marginal and small holdings increased from 38.9% in January 2000 to 47.4% in 2015-16, while that of the large holdings decreased from 37.2% to 20% during this period. According to the Agricultural Census 2010 to 11, marginal and small farmers had accounted for around 85% of the operational holding in India. Small farmers contribute 51% of agricultural output with 46% of operated land, and a much higher share, 70%, in high-value crops. However, small farmers are less literate and from marginalized communities. They are generally excluded from modern market arrangements such as contract farming or direct purchase. In agriculture census, the operational holdings are categorized in 5 size classes as follows. 21 o'clock, category. Size class marginal below 1.00 hectare, small 1 to 2 hectare, semi-medium 2 to 4 hectare. Medium 4.00-10.00 hectare. Large 10.00 hectare and above. 21 o'clock. Issues and challenges for smallholders. Role of women. The importance of women in agriculture has been increasing. Agriculture is becoming increasingly feminized as men are migrating to rural non-farm sector. They work in land preparation, seed selection and seed production, sowing, in applying manure, fertilizer and pesticides, weeding, transplanting, threshing, winnowing and harvesting etc., as well as in animal husbandry and dairying, fish processing, collection of non-timber forest produces, NTFPs, backyard poultry, and collection of fuel wood, fodder and other products for family needs. Despite their importance, women are continually denied their property rights and access to other productive resources. Protecting women's rights in land, enhancing infrastructure support to women farmers, and giving legal support on existing laws will facilitate recognition for women as farmers and enable them to access credit, inputs, and marketing outlets. Social groups. The proportion of socially disadvantaged groups such as scheduled castes, SCs, and scheduled tribes, STs, is higher among marginal and small farmers than that of medium and large farmers. The distribution of land ownership among STs is better than SCs. However, the quality of ST's land is probably of the lowest quality. Social identity of farmers is also seen to mediate access to economic resources and outcomes. Even after accounting for quantity and quality of land owned by socially deprived classes, their access to information, marketing, credit and publicly provided inputs and extension services are lower. This shows that they possibly suffer from discrimination in the delivery of public services as well as market. Land issues. Land and tenancy security. National Commission on Enterprises for Unorganized Sector argued that there is a strong evidence that relatively successful implementation of even a modest package of land reforms dramatically improve the prospect of the poor. Regain small and marginal farmers. They own and cultivate some land, but it is a limiting factor for getting resources. Therefore, tenancy security is important for smallholding farmers. Land relations are extremely complicated, and this complexity has contributed significantly to the problems facing actual cultivators. Unregistered cultivators, tenants, and tribal cultivators all face difficulties in accessing institutional credit and other facilities available to farmers with land titles. Low level of formal education and skills. Education and skills are important for improving farming practices, investment and productivity. Literacy and mean years of education are lower for smallholding farmers compared to medium and large farmers. It is important for smallholding farmers to have a reasonable level of awareness regarding information on agriculture. The low level of farmers' education limits public dissemination of knowledge. The NSS Farmers Survey clearly shows that awareness about biofertilizers, minimum support prices and WTO is associated with education levels which are lower for marginal and small farmers. 2101. Credit and indebtedness. Small holdings need credit for both consumption and the investment purposes. Increasing indebtedness is one of the reasons for indebtedness among these farmers in recent years. However, the indebtedness for the small and marginal farmers from formal institutional sources is lower than large farmers, and the reverse is true in the case of informal sources. The dependence on money lenders is the highest for submarginal and marginal farmers. Globalization challenges. Increasing globalization has added to the problems faced by the smallholding agriculture. The policies of huge subsidies and protection policies by developed countries have negative effects on smallholding farmers in developing countries. If support is not given to small farms, globalization may become advantageous for large farms. There has been adverse impact of trade liberalization on the agricultural economy of the regions growing crops such as plantation, cotton and oilseeds in which foreign trade is important. With liberalization, the issue of efficiency has become highly relevant as domestic production has to compete with products of other countries. Impact of climate change. Climate change is a major challenge for agriculture, food security and rural livelihoods for millions of people including the poor in India. Adverse impact will be more on smallholding farmers. Climate change is expected to have adverse impact on the living conditions of farmers, fishers and forest-dependent people who are already vulnerable and food insecure. Rural communities, particularly those living in already fragile environments, face an immediate and ever-growing risk of increased crop failure, loss of livestock, and reduced availability of marine, aquaculture, and forest products. They would have adverse effects on food security and livelihoods of small farmers in particular. Water problems. Water is the leading input in agriculture. Development of irrigation and water management are crucial for raising levels of living in rural areas. Agriculture has to compete for water with urbanization, drinking water, and industrialization. As mentioned above, small-holding agriculture depend more on groundwater compared to large farmers who has more access on canal water. Groundwater is depleting in many areas of India. Marginal and small farmers are going to face more problems regarding water in future. Therefore, water management is going to be crucial for these farmers. Diversification. There has been diversification of Indian diets away from food grains to high-value products like milk and meat products and vegetables and fruits. The increasing middle class due to rapid urbanization, increasing per capita income, increased participation of women in urban jobs and impact of globalization has been largely responsible for the diet diversification in India. High-value products have caught the fancy of the expanding middle class and the result is visible in the growing demand for high-value processed products. There is growing demand for non-food grain items in India. The expenditure elasticity for non-cereal food items is still quite high in India. It is thrice as high when compared to cereals in the rural areas and over 10 times as high in urban areas. Per capita consumption of fruits and vegetables showed the highest growth followed by edible oils. 2102. Diversification to high-value crops and allied activities is one of the important sources for raising agricultural growth. Since risk is high for diversification, necessary support in infrastructure and marketing are needed. Price policy should also encourage diversification. Small and marginal farmers can get higher incomes with diversification. But, there are risks in shifting to diversification as the support systems are more for food grains. There is a need for support systems for diversification to help the smallholder farmers. 10. Risk and vulnerability. There is enough evidence to suggest that poor and poorest of the poor households are vulnerable to a range of risks affecting individuals, households or whole communities which can have a devastating effect on their livelihoods and well-being. They have higher exposure to a variety of risks at individual or household level. Some of them are A. Health shocks, illness, injury, accidents, disability. B. Labor market risk. Many work in informal sector and have high risk of unemployment and underemployment. C. Harvest risks, life cycle risks, social risk and special risks for vulnerable groups. In addition, they have community risks such as droughts, floods, cyclones, structural adjustment policies, etc. Small and marginal farmers are vulnerable to all these risks. 1. Type of support systems. Natural resource management. Small and marginal farmer to overcome the climatic changes and preferring the consumer choices of food, there is need to adopt suitable cropping system and crops which will convert into enhancing income of farmer as well providing good food to consumer. More emphasis should be given to mixed farming where livestock and crops can be cultivated focusing to fodder crops. Farmer income can be supplemented with adoption of tree-based farming which is less prone to climatic changes and eco-friendly. With the advent of new technologies, greenhouse cultivation need to promote intensively for high-value cropping fetching high income. To overcome climatic changes, use of climate-resilient technologies in pulses, oilseeds and millets should be promoted. Micro-irrigation, drip irrigation, sprinkler irrigation system, micro-sprinklers, microjets, rain guns, gravity-fed drip system and semi-permanent sprinkler system is a combination of technologies which are having ample potential to achieve higher irrigation and cropping intensity. With a considerable impact on resource and cost economy, crop yield followed by farm productivity with the potential of bringing around 42.2 million ha under drip and sprinkler irrigation. Out of this, about 30.5 million ha are suitable for sprinkler irrigation for cereals, pulses and oilseeds, a part of fodder crops followed by drip with a potential of 11.7 million ha under cotton, sugarcane, fruits and vegetables, spices and condiments, and some pulse crops like red gram, etc. Soil health management. Soil is one of the major part of agriculture which needs care and management. The constant decline in soil health is often cited as one of the reasons for stagnating or declining yields. Soils are low in soil fertility, but the inadequate and imbalanced nutrient use and neglect of organic manures is causing multi-nutrient deficiencies in many areas with time and showing a net negative balance of nutrients as every year there is a net deficit of about 10 million. 2103. Tons of nutrients added and extracted from the soil. For reducing soil erosion losses, adoption of contour bunding, land leveling, tree plantation at bunts of field in watershed and unirrigated areas need to be promoted. As the chemical fertilizers are expensive which increases the cost of cultivation, need to encourage the production of organic manures. Be given incentives for producing biogas slurry, nadeb compost, green manures and biofertilizers, promoting more use of biopesticides, biofertilizers including PSB for pulses. Promotion of neem-coated urea which is an excellent step for fertilizer use which will slow down the process of the nitrification of urea. The Government of India in support of soil health has also launched several programs like soil health cards, selling of neem oil-coated urea, nutrient-based subsidy policy for phosphorus and potassic fertilizers, organic natural farming, Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana, PKVY, National Mission on Sustainable Agriculture, National Water Mission, etc. Animal sciences. Livestock rearing is one of the most important economic activities in the rural areas of the country, contributing significantly to the national economy. It provides supplementary income to most of the family dependent on agriculture, and for many landless families, the income generated through the livestock rearing activities has been the mainstay. Livestock sector has a favorable distributional impact. Marginal producers and smallholders, who account for about 67% of landholdings, constitute the core livestock production sector. They own about 75% of bovines and 79% of ovine population. Infrastructural support. As the market progressing, there is need to strengthen the supply chain for agricultural produce grown by small and marginal farmers. For income generating activities, value addition and processing for marketing through cooperatives should be put on priority list. Similarly, promotion and scaling up of initiatives like eTupal should also be promoted for better pricing of farmers' produce without middlemen involvement. As government is providing minimum support price for fetching, remunerative price should be fixed for produce at market. For promoting group farming, there is need to establish farmer producer company (FPO) with farmers at village level for better forward and backward linkages for increasing their income. Extension and training. An efficient and holistic extension system should be capable of meeting the need of small and marginal farmers in this fast changing scenario. Is the need to enhance the income securing sustainable growth of farmers. As there is need to reduce the extension functionary to farmer ratio, hilly areas 1:400, irrigated areas 1:750 and rainfed 1:1000, which are the bridge between research and farmers. There is need for skill development, capacity building of extension personnel to meet evolving needs of farmers and perform better for farmers' satisfaction. Extension functionaries providing high quality extension services need to be appropriately incentivized to accelerate the momentum. For producing a robust system, there is need to conducting benchmark surveys for problem identification through agroecosystem analysis, which elicits major farm problems and priority areas for research. These research areas need to be prioritized research and should be converted into the short, medium and long-term extension targets. 2104. Keeping in view the significance of ICTs in overall agricultural advancement, it is necessary to promote ICT-based agricultural information dissemination to enhance agricultural information delivery mechanism. Women empowerment and gender mainstreaming. As agriculture sector is predominantly engaged by rural women, they are the basis of family and the health management. In process to this, there is need of empowerment of rural women through self-employment by SHGs, promotions in the field of fruits, vegetable and millets processing for fetching income and become self-sustained in the society. For marketing of processed products, there is a way to develop packaging, labeling and marketing skill among the SHGs and facilitating them for FSI licensing. Similarly, there is need to promote improved farm tools and to reduce laborious work through improved farm tools for reducing drudgery among the farm women. Family hygiene and improvement in nutritional health status should also be promoted among rural women and adolescent girls. To meet the daily requirement of family about fruits and vegetables, concept of nutrition garden providing a path for meeting the requirement and making farm women empowered through their behavioral changes. Farm income should also be supported with different social intervention like nutri-sensitive agricultural research and innovations, NARI, which focuses on gender empowerment and nutrition by carrying out demonstrations to promote nutrition, sensitive agriculture, capacity development and gender mainstreaming with special focus on family farming, linking agriculture to nutrition, skill development among women and youth, biofortification of locally available food, round-the-year dietary pattern, Nutri-Thali, nutrition smart villages, etc. Sampada, scheme for agromarine processing and development of agro-processing clusters, for creation of modern infrastructure with efficient supply chain management from farm gate to retail outlet, providing big boost to the growth of food processing sector, creating huge employment opportunities, reducing wastage of agricultural produce, enhancing the export of the processed foods, providing better returns to farmers, and is a big step towards doubling of farmers' income. Value addition and technology incubation centers in agriculture, Vatica, operated for incubation and skill development in KVKs and in some FPOs. Information and Communication Technology, ICT, and Knowledge Management, Indian Agriculture, which involves millions of small and marginal farmers, and many of those small and marginal farmers are illiterate and have little or no access to resources to access modern technology in agriculture. ICT is an emerging tool for achieving meaningful societal transformation, and it is an emerging tool for achieving meaningful societal transformation. The goal of Information and Communication Technology, ICT, is to provide the benefits of information revolution to the rural masses by enhancing farming efficiency, farm productivity and farmers' income. So there is a need to tap the full potential of ICT to deliver farm information in minimum time. Creation of national level farmers database in coordination with Agricultural Technology Application Research Institute, ATARE, in each zones of ICAR system for delivery of farm specific advisory which makes agriculture 2104 sector look more organized and help in agricultural research and which will provide location specific information in real time. 2105 Technology. Water smart. Rainwater harvesting, RH. Drip irrigation, D. Laser land leveling, LL. Furrow irrigated bed. Planting, FIBP. Drainage management, DM. Energy smart zero tillage minimum tillage, ZT metric ton. Nutrient smart adaptation mitigation potential interventions that improve water use efficiency, collection of rainwater not allowing to run off and use for agricultural in rain-fed dry areas and other purposes, on-site application of water directly to the root zone of crops and minimize water loss. Leveling the field ensures uniform distribution of water in the field and reduces water loss, also improves nutrient use efficiency. This Method offers more effective control over irrigation and drainage as well as rainwater management during the monsoon, also improves nutrient use efficiency, removal of excess water, flood, through water control structure interventions that improve energy use efficiency reduces amount of energy use in land preparation. In long run, it also improves water infiltration and organic matter retention into the soil interventions that improve nutrient use efficiency, SIM, green manuring, GM. Leaf color chart, LCC. Product, rate, time and place cultivation of legumes in a cropping system. This practice improves nitrogen supply and soil quality. Quantify the required amount of nitrogen use based on greenness of crops. Mostly used for split dose application in rice but also applicable for match and wheat crops to detect nitrogen deficiency. Intercropping with cultivation of legumes with other main crops in legumes, ICL, alternate rows or mixed. This practice improves nitrogen supply and soil quality. Carbon smart interventions that reduce GHG emissions. Agroforestry, AF, promote carbon sequestration including sustainable land use management. 2106, concentrate feeding for livestock, CF, fodder management, FM, integrated pest management, IPM, weather smart limit smart housing for livestock, CSH, weather-based crop agro-advisory, CA, crop insurance, CI. Knowledge smart contingent crop planning, CC, improved crop varieties, ICV, seed and fodder banks, SFB, reduces nutrient losses and livestock requires low amount of feed. Promote carbon sequestration including sustainable land use management reduces use of chemicals. Interventions that provide services related to income security and weather advisories to farmers. Protection of livestock from extreme climatic events, e.g. heat cold stresses. Climate information-based value-added agro-advisories to the farmer. Crop-specific insurance to compensate income loss due vagaries of weather. Use of combination of science and local knowledge. Climatic risk management plan to cope with major weather-related contingencies like drought, flood, heat cold stresses during the crop season. Crop varieties that are tolerant to drought, flood and heat cold stresses. Conservation of seeds of crops and fodders to manage climatic risks. 2107. 8. Climate smart agriculture. Climate smart agriculture, CSA, is an approach for transforming and reorienting agricultural systems to support food security under the new realities of climate change. With the widespread changes in rainfall and temperature patterns threaten agricultural production and increase the vulnerability of people dependent on agriculture for their livelihoods, which includes most of the world's poor, which has disrupted food markets, posing population-wide risks to food supply. Threats can be reduced by increasing the adaptive capacity of farmers as well as increasing resilience and resource use efficiency in agricultural production systems. The impacts of climate change on crop yields indicate that yield losses may be up to 60%, depending on crop, location, and future climate scenario. Promotion of climate smart agriculture, CSA, through the Climate Smart Village, CSV, approach for technological and institutional options for dealing with climate change in agriculture. Providing weather-based insurance, use of ICT for dissemination of climate information-based agro-advisories for development of decision support tools for planning and investment. Emphasis on organizations as mechanisms for linking between national level and community level adaptation, and associated range of activities, selection of technologies to local contexts, mapping local institutions and working in partnership across institutions, gender and social. 2107. Inclusion in climate change adaptation and developing success factors include participative and locally driven vulnerability assessments and tailoring of adaptation measures. Farming practices are threatened to several interconnected ecological, economic and social pressures provoked by climate change, and there is need to enhance investment flows and public-private partnerships to strengthen and establish well-networked with local organizations for effective measure in adaptation to climate change. In the India Rural Development Report 2012-13, prepared by the IDFC Rural Development Network, it has been observed that small farms are more efficient, especially in cultivating labor-intensive crops or tending livestock, but land holdings are too small to generate sufficient household income. With a view to improve the condition of small and marginal farmers and to double the income of farmers by 2022, government is realigning its interventions from production-centric approach to farmers' income-centric initiatives, with focus on better and new technological solutions. These include implementation of schemes like Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, PMKSY, Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana, PKVY, Soil Health Card, Neem-coated urea, rain-fed area development under National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture, NMSA, Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, MEFB, National Agriculture Market Scheme, ENAM, National Food Security Mission, NEFM, National Mission on Oilseeds and Oil Palm, NMOOP, Mission for Integrated Development of Horticulture, MIG. Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana, RKVY, National Mission on Agriculture Extension and Technology, NMAIT, etc. In addition, farmers are provided information through focused publicity campaigns, Kisan call centers, KCCs, agri-clinics and agribusiness centers, AKEB, of entrepreneurs, agri-fairs and exhibitions, Kisan SMS portal, etc. Way forward. The success of Indian agriculture depends on sustaining small and marginal farmers by utilizing their land resources for increased production and increasing total income. They should be provided with basic and necessary support systems for accumulating more knowledge and adoption of scientific method of farming.